Let me close by just sharing with you just an illustration of how wonderful it is what Christ has done for us. There's a man named Jack Kelly. He's a reporter for USA Today, and he tells about a trip to East Africa in which he was taught a very important lesson. He went to Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia, and he was covering a terrible famine. He said when they were just walking toward a village, you'd see death all around you, people, the bodies that were lying there, and that the stench was so strong it would get into your hair and your clothes, and it was just a horrible, horrible thing. They came across a little boy. They could tell this little boy was malnourished. He had worms. His stomach was protruding out. He had this reddish color to his hair, and his skin was wrinkled like he was 100 years old. All these are evidences of being malnourished. And the cameraman with him had a grapefruit. They gave the grapefruit to the boy. The boy was so weak he couldn't hold the grapefruit. So they cut the grapefruit in half and gave the boy half the grapefruit. He could hold that, and he took it. He couldn't even respond to them, but he looked up as if to say thank you, turned around, started walking on toward the village. Well, they continued to follow him, and as they followed him, they saw him walk up to another littler boy. When he walked up to this littler boy, they could see that little boy, his eyes were glazed over, and as they understood that this was the older boy's younger brother. Well, the older boy kneeled down to the younger brother, took a piece of the grapefruit and put it in his mouth, put it in his own mouth, and began to chew it. Then he took it out of his mouth, put it in his younger brother's mouth, and began to work his younger brother's jaw. About a week later, they found out that the older brother had died, but that the younger brother had actually lived. And that, to see an evidence of that kind of concern and care, sacrifice for another, had a transforming effect on Jack Kelly. But that's what Christ has done for us. You can take that and much more like it, that God would care enough to send His Son to who we were and allow Jesus Christ to go through what He went through so that He might extend Himself out to us and give us what our only hope was. When we understand that not only with that, God gave us His peace, He gave us His grace, and He gave us hope for eternity. That's a God worth everything. That's a God who could never ask too much of me. Let's bow and pray.